Baker out, Sam Darnold out, Matt Corral out. So basically, the Stink for CJ Stroud campaign continues this Sunday as my Carolina Panthers take on the Los Angeles Rams. It has been announced that fourth string QB Philip PJ Walker will be stepping in as the starter behind center. And in this video, I am going to give you an outlook on what his 10 starts or 10 games played in the league so far has looked like and what we can expect against the Rams in a possible performance with him at QB this Sunday. And that is coming up right after this.
I'm from the foe, you dig?
Welcome back to The Way I See It with Jamario Rashad. This is a Carolina Panthers and Charlotte Hornet fan channel, so please go ahead and hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. I am on my road to 1K trying to get monetized, and your help will be greatly appreciated. Now, to dive into the topic of the video, Philip PJ Walker is somebody that I actually covered a few years back when I was doing videos on the XFL. He was in a very heated quarterback MVP race with fellow QB Jordan Ta'amu, who has spent a few years in the Kansas City system since then. PJ Walker was a baller for the Houston Roughnecks, and I was very excited to hear that my Carolina Panthers brought him up and put him on the roster. I was unaware of his connection with Coach Fire Matt Rule. But now that we're here and he has appeared in 10 games, that it is very apparent that he is not going to have the same impact that he had in the XFL in the NFL due to the increase in talent, the increase in size, and the overall skill increase that he faces every single time he straps up the cleats and steps on the field. Now, if we look here, PJ Walker has attempted over 100 passes, 128 to be exact, while only completing 73 of those, for a grand total of a completion percentage of 57%, which is nothing great by today's NFL standards. In 10 games, he's thrown for a less than 1,000 yards total, less than 800 total, right at 790 yards at about 602 yards per pass. He has thrown four times as many interceptions as he has touchdowns. He's only completed 2 touchdown passes while throwing 8 interceptions, which is just absolutely putrid by any standard of measure in any league on any level. Now, his passer rating has been less than 60 through 2 years so far. He appeared and at the end of the game last week, he had a passer rating at the end that was 108, but that was counteracted by an absolutely absurd QBR in a minuscule sample size that was only 15.9 last week, which is very Baker Mayfield-ish, but that's not very far off from what his career average has been in these past 2 years of 23.4 and 9.6. So PJ Walker has not been the most effective passer in the NFL. And if we slide down and take a look at the rushing yards, PJ Walker was a very effective scrambler for the Houston Roughnecks in the XFL. That was one of the things that made him stand out and actually put him above Jordan Ta'amu in the MVP race, was his ability to use his legs, scramble for first downs, and just be dynamic. Now, in his 10 games so far in the NFL, he has rushed 12 times for a grand total of 11 yards. So he hasn't even been able to get 3 feet every time he's attempted to scramble, which is just absolutely terrible by any standard of measure, especially for a guy of his size that can move like him. The inability to get out of the pocket is just something that has to be, that's a mental thing rather than physical, because a lot of guys his size can wiggle out of there with the same body he has, but it just seems as though he hasn't been able to do that. So with that being said, that just made me think, what exactly will his impact be on this game this Sunday against the Los Angeles Rams? Majority of their secondary is a bit banged up. Jalen Ramsey is the only one that isn't questionable as of right now, but I'm pretty sure a few of them may go. Now, PJ Walker is undefeated in his starts so far, but I, for the life of me, cannot remember who he started against. And I'm pretty sure in those games he never had to face a monster like Aaron Donald. So this is going to be his greatest challenge so far in the NFL. We're looking to turn the season around, and interim coach Steve Wilkes' first game with the team. I know a lot of the guys are going to be looking to play hard and get a win for him to validate his position and make sure that the fans stay interested. Everybody like myself isn't a diehard. They aren't going to be here through all of it. But hey, man, I make content. Y'all struggle, and I'm gonna talk about it. Hey, it's a two-way street over here. But I think that with the way that our defense is playing, we'll be able to hold their offense down. I don't see why not. They're one of the only teams in the league right now averaging less points per game than us, and our defense has been absolutely balling. So if PJ Walker can hold it down on his side of the field, I don't see why we can't eke out a very unlikely win, but one that could possibly steady the ship and turn this thing around moving forward through the rest of this still very long NFL season. So with that being said, what do you all think? You leave your comments below. Do you think PJ Walker will be able to get the dub this weekend? Do you like score predictions? Anything you think? Your thoughts on the video? Whatever you thought, leave it down in the comments below. Before you get out of here, make sure you leave me a like, and like I said, subscribe. If you've made it this far in the video, I truly appreciate your time. And with that being said, I am Jamario Rashad, and I'm out. Peace.